Good afternoon. Our name is The Visionaries, and we're going to present to you today our solution for challenge number 3. So, meet the team. We have Juan Jose, Juan Felipe, Simon, Lenin, and myself, Juan Camilo. Alright, so I'm going to talk a little bit about contextualization, what is happening in banking today. So, today, banks are losing opportunities and are also losing market share due to the fact that there are many digital disruptors that are forcing the people to move to look for alternative forms of finance. And they're leaving banks aside. The banks, therefore, must reinvent themselves. They need to adapt to these new market conditions, and they need to. So that's why we believe there's a need for a distributed bank. So we identified clearly a gap, but we need to fill this gap. How are we going to fill it?
We're going to fill this gap with the UBS Bankbook. What is the UBS Bankbook? It's a platform that incorporates existing technologies and services in order to enhance the retail banking experience. The main aim of the Bankbook is to build value for users through the frictionless banking.
Okay, so the reasoning for the Bankbook is basically sorry. Okay, so the basis of our idea is the distributed bank. And what is the distributed bank? It basically evolves around the idea that banks will take advantage of services, and by the information gathered from these services, they would offer their own services into their customer base. So we thought about having two financial technologies and the general big data that the banks hold. So one of these financial technologies would track spending habits of the consumer and building profiles that come from these spending habits. And the other one would be the second financial technology would be it would optimize the client profile. By this I mean that whenever a client would upload a document that they would probably need in the future for, let's say, a loan or a mortgage, it would remain in the platform, and this would ease the process of asking for money or asking for a mortgage, and it would cut all the paperwork out of the way, and it will cut costs and time. The reason for this is, as we will see later on, that UBS would want to build consumer wealth and therefore bringing more value to all the stakeholders.
Okay, so what is the Bankbook? The Bankbook will cover both sides of retail banking, both personal and corporate aspects. The functionalities have a common factor, which is to truly understand who our customer is and to help them understand who they are themselves. Personal retail banking will enhance will enhance the services that we currently offer by providing a new communication channel between the clients and the bank. On the other hand, corporate services will focus on allowing small and medium enterprises to access easily to funds, as well as meet their current obligations through different approach by integrating their supply expenses and by integrating their supply expenses and advising them on these expenses, and by reinventing the traditional factoring approach. Now, then we'll continue with the personal banking.
Okay, so these are some aspects of the personal banking. If UBS were to adapt this approach to retail banking, first of all, it will be able to track the consumer spending habits and therefore build a profile out of this. And they can, with this information, they can further advise the clients on how much they're spending on, specifically on what and when, and they can advise on how the client can save money, and it could also notify them on any deals on anything that they would like. Another thing is that they can mix the tracking of consumer spending, the profile, and big data from banks, and clients can compare themselves to the rest of the UBS. To the average of the UBS clientele, and therefore they could know if they're overspending, and with regards to the rest. Also, the purpose of this is to build client value, because they will build their knowledge, and the bank will lead them through it would teach them on how they can budget their wallet and therefore save money and build their own wealth.
So there's other aspects of retail banking that we have to address, like loans, mortgages, and something we have added to the platform called intelligent investing. First, by loans, we are tracking the consumer habits of our clients in order to create a profile through which we will make much faster, much more accessible the loans. It will be a process that will be less tedious and less delayed. Through mortgages, we're going to do basically the same. By understanding our client and understanding the amount of wealth they can acquire through their consumer habits, we will profile their credits, and we'll make this much easily accessible than it is right now. Now, in intelligent investing, we would like to embrace all of the individuals to become investors into the growing businesses. First, we will advise them how to save costs and in different ways of their different interests. So, where to invest in these little things. Also, by helping everyone invest into the growing businesses, we're contributing to the community itself, and we're contributing to the individuals because we're creating wealth for our clients. And lastly, we're creating value as well for the bank, because we're bringing in more wealth and more customers.
Now we're going to take a little insight in the corporate side of the bank book. And the corporate side of the bank book is going to try to improve the services that are given to the small and medium-sized enterprises by taking into consideration what are their main needs. Our approach to this was finding out what are the main obstacles, or what are the main services that these companies are in need in order for them to establish a sustainable growth. Among these, I would like to start with incorporated accounting. Incorporated accounting will allow small and medium-sized enterprises to focus on what they actually are doing, and instead of actually having to keep track of their own accounts or their own expenses. Through this, we're going to, in addition, we're also going to have platforms which will make access to capital way cheaper and more possible for small and medium-sized enterprises which do not have the leverage or the position in order for them to ask for big loans from banks. As well, we're going to offer these companies, or these emerging companies, advices on who the suppliers are and how the UBS community can further connect or improve these services that they're getting from the suppliers. From this, usually small and medium-sized enterprises, they give services to bigger companies, or they have irregular payment collection period. This, if we can actually get to know the company, we're going to be able to offer a completely different approach into factoring services, which will allow companies to get their monthly income while if part of the UBS community.
Okay, so here we can see the layout of the web page and how it can be. So first, when you go in, you have to choose if you're going to your personal account or to your corporate account into the bank book. Then, for example, here we're on our personal bank book, and to the right you're going to have the chat with experts, groups, and your friends in the bank book. Up top you'll have your budget, your balance for the month, your receivables, and your payables. Here on the left you will have the different options like asking for loans, getting a mortgage, paying someone, and this type of things. Also, you will have your interests, including your groups, and this type of interest. Also, by providing a live feed of all of your interests, imagine it like the Facebook of banks, and having a graph that will show all your spending history and will remain there always. For the corporate layout, it will be very similar. The only thing it will change would be the functionality of the page. So you will have your receivables, your balance, and your bills to pay, but you will have chat with experts and with your staff. So everyone within your business will be connected through your UBS bank book in order to have a live chat with your staff and be able to organize them easily. Here you will have your invoices, your expenses, and your current suppliers in order to review your suppliers and see the options to which you could enhance your business. You will also have your personal accountant, which will be the biggest help for small and medium sized enterprises, because it will remove the human factor and the human error from the accountant, plus it will remove the cost of having an accounting team. It will be adding value to all of the businesses.
Okay, so how did we come to all of this idea? We did extensive market research and we identified some of the key trends that are affecting the retail banking industry in the present and in the future. So in the present we have platformization of banking. We also have investment in innovation and smart partnerships, which we also try to implement in our idea of the bank book. We have personalized services, which are increasing day by day, and most, very importantly, the millennials, which are eventually our target market, the people that are going to be using the bank book, and we have to adapt to their needs and their consumer behavior and habits. Some of the trends that are going to affect the retail banking in the future include technology as an enabler of increased service and reduced costs, and very importantly, the banks that are going to be more relevant in the future are not the banks that are going to have the larger number of branches physically, but instead the banks that are going to have more investment in advertising, in technology, and banking licenses. Also, the rising customer expectations are very important, and we identified also as a trend that the public is losing trust in the banks. They don't trust their bank anymore, so we need to regain the public trust, and that's also what we're trying to do with the UBS Bank Book, to create a community, give the public the sense that the bank actually wants to help them.
So, share economy. For the most important trend that we noticed is share economy, and in here we take some characteristics and apply it to our idea of creating the UBS Bank Book, because we think that having a give back, having a customer-centric model included in the business model will benefit the company in the medium to future term, medium to long term.
Here, we wanted to mention some of the players that have been disrupting, using this concept of shadow banking to disrupt their certain industries. Among them, there we have Airbnb, Uber, and in the financial sectors, which are the ones we care about the most, we have SmartBlock, Zupa, SmartPiggy, and among the different companies that have taken a different approach to the services that can be given through shadow banking.
Okay, so some of the competition that we've considered in this is we've got Barclays, Santander, Commonwealth, and Goldman Sachs. For starters, Barclays is doing several things. Barclays using, as Juan mentioned earlier, as one of the main trends was investing in innovations and smart partnering. So what has Barclays done? They partnered with Blue Bay Asset Management to spread the lending risk. Blue Bay Asset Management served as a shadow bank. They also partnered with Safello, a Swedish company that they got from their financial technology accelerator in the level 39 building in Canary Wharf, and they also are trying to introduce this concept of Sky Branch, where they want to revolutionize how the client and the bank interact. They want to be 24/7 virtually available to the customer.
Thank you, Lenny. Another example of the competitors is the Commonwealth Bank of Australia. They have created a strategy of partnering with real estate agencies, websites, in order to offer clients a personalized housing experience options. And also, they had separated clients between they had separated the houses for the clients in order of the economic situation that they are. Also, Santander has identified 20 to 25 cases where they can apply blockchain technology to the traditional finances practices.
And lastly, Goldman Sachs partnered with IDG Capital Partners to lead a $50 million investment into Circle Internet Financial. What they want to do with this is introduce the technology underlying Bitcoin in order to improve customer payments and transfer money across international borders with the same ease.
Thank you very much for listening. And please remember, make the bankbook the backbone of your business. Make the bankbook the backbone of your day-to-day operations. Thank you.
Yo puedo seguir